Well, it's only been 2.5 years, and you're right. I haven't gotten in an argument.
The Kelsey-Swift saga just keeps serving drama with a side of pasta and paparazzi. First up, Travis Kelce claims he and Taylor have never argued, but a resurfaced Malibu lunch photo begs to differ. And then, Travis spills all the juicy deets from their bougie Italian getaway, where villas cost more than most people's rent and romance levels hit rom-com peak.
Oh yeah, me and Tay danced around Lake Como for a little while, man. I loved it out there.
Next, Taylor's bachelorette plans are basically a globe-trotting extravaganza. Then, insiders hint at prenup negotiations heating up because billion-dollar math meets NFL stakes. On top of that, Taylor gets dethroned on Spotify by Bad Bunny just as the Chiefs face a pivotal Texans matchup. And finally, the man who trespassed at Travis's house, probation and a $1,000 fine later, justice served. Travis hops on a podcast and casually drops that he and Taylor have never argued in their 2.5 years together. Not once. Zero drama, perfect vibes only. And of course, the internet immediately does what the internet does best, digs up receipts like it's a competitive sport. Travis is chatting with Jason and a certain Hollywood legend on the show, proudly saying he's basically living in a rom-com with Taylor. But insiders are already whispering about a certain old photo that's recirculating like a boomerang.
Well, it's only been 2.5 years, and you're right. I haven't gotten in an argument.
The timing is hilarious, almost too perfect, because right when Travis is praising their no-fight streak, that March 2024 Malibu lunch pic decides to rise from the archives like, "Hey besties, remember me?" Back then, the couple had stepped out for lunch at Nobu. Yes, that Nobu, where celebs go to look relaxed and definitely not get photographed. And let's just say the vibe looked a little less we never argue and a little more girl breathe. Taylor appeared to be mid-lecture, leaning in with that intense energy she usually saves for stadiums, and Travis sat there with the posture of a man mentally reviewing every life choice he ever made. No yelling confirmed, but that body language wasn't exactly screaming harmony either. Fans still joke he looked like he was waiting for a teacher to hand back an exam he knew he failed. Insiders are having a field day with the mismatch. On one hand, Travis is telling the world he and Taylor are basically the poster couple for conflict-free relationships. On the other, the photo is floating around like, explanations please? Of course, the internet loves overanalyzing a single frozen moment. Maybe they were debating sushi rolls. Maybe he forgot a lyric. Maybe the sun was in her eyes. But that hasn't stopped people from stirring the pot. And speaking of stirring, Travis is whisking up fresh memories from that bougie Italian escape, like he's narrating a travel vlog nobody asked for but everybody wants. Suddenly he's reminiscing about his Lake Como getaway with Taylor like it's the pilot episode of Keeping Up with the Kelce's European edition. And honestly, the man sounds downright smitten with both the scenery and the pasta. This trip wasn't your average couple's weekend. No Airbnb split bills, no scooters on rent, none of that budget core energy. These two checked into a villa that costs more per night than most people's yearly rent. An 18th century palace with roots stretching back to the 1500s, the kind of place where you whisper even when you're alone because the walls look like they'll judge you. And during Taylor's tour break, the two were spotted doing every romantic cliche known to mankind. Cruising on boats, kissing in the rain, having those we're totally in a movie moments that make fans lose their minds. Travis later spills on the podcast that he basically lived his best life there. And by his description, the guy turned into the main character real quick.
Oh yeah, me and Tay danced around Lake Como for a little while, man. I loved it out there.
He's saying he'd wake up every morning, lace up his shoes, and just run along the water like he was filming a fragrance commercial. Past him is probably out there, vibing with the mist, thinking, yeah, this is it, this is who I am now.
Every morning I was throwing my shoes on, running up and down the water, and we had gloomy days, we had beautiful days, and it was just, every single day was just a new epic, realization what's really around the world.
And while he's busy having his Italian main character moment, Taylor's squad is apparently cooking up plans that make Lake Como look like a warm-up lap. Because now her bachelorette party isn't just a party, it's a full-blown multi-destination world tour with better itinerary planning than most airlines. According to the industry grapevine, Taylor's bachelorette isn't sticking to one city like regular people who settle for a single Airbnb and call it a day. Nope. Swifties, brace yourselves. She's got 3, possibly 4 girls' trips lined up. Think New York, Nashville, the Bahamas, Italy, basically all the places you see on Pinterest boards titled Soft Life Dreams but never actually go to because reality exists. Apparently the idea is to turn the party into a series of weekends where the girls can chill, celebrate, and pretend they're not coordinating what sounds like a bachelorette Olympics. And her bridesmaids, they're not playing. Insiders say the group chat is on fire. Phone calls, texts, FaceTime, Zooms. These women are scheduling like they're organizing the Met Gala. One of them even pointed out how the commitment levels are unreal, and the excitement is so high that they're basically floating. Selena Gomez, of course, is leading the charge with ideas left and right like she's the chief fun officer of this whole operation. Meanwhile, Gigi Hadid is in the mix too, helping shape the dream team vibe Taylor wants before she walks down the aisle. What's wild is Taylor and Travis aren't stopping at just one wedding. 2 ceremonies are reportedly in the pipeline, one of them being a close-knit beach one that sounds straight out of a Nicholas Sparks adaptation. And the plan? A full wedding weekend running from Friday to Sunday, because why have a ceremony when you can have an event?
So they could actually maybe have this ceremony at this resort that's her neighbor, and then later have have the ceremony there and then have a party there, or maybe even do both.
And speaking of events, nothing says we're getting married for real, like the one topic every couple pretends they're chill about until it actually lands on the table, the prenup. Yup. While Taylor's bride squad is planning bachelorette trips like they're curating a luxury travel documentary, insiders claim the lovebirds themselves are knee-deep in the least romantic part of wedding prep, the paperwork that decides who keeps what if things ever go sideways. Now, nobody's shocked that a prenup is on the deck. Taylor's sitting on $1.6 billion like it's a casual savings account, while Travis has a very healthy but significantly smaller $70 to $90 million. Not exactly pocket change for either of them, but still a serious gap. And according to whispers floating around online, things behind the scenes might be getting a teensy bit spicy. Not the romantic Italy kind, more the we need lawyers, spreadsheets, and chamomile tea kind. One anonymous tipster even claimed the two might be butting heads over the specifics. Apparently there's chatter that the negotiations feel a little cold, which is hilarious, considering these two can't even get caught holding hands without fans screaming about how in love they are. The alleged friction isn't just about money either. Travis is still dreaming about squeezing in another year of football or pivoting into broadcasting after, while Taylor supposedly isn't thrilled about that plan. And honestly, trying to tell an NFL guy not to extend his football era is like telling a cat to stop knocking stuff off counters. It's instinct. And while the internet is busy gossiping about who's signing what, she wakes up to headlines screaming that she just lost her Spotify crown. Yup, Miss Global Domination herself got nudged off the throne, and insiders say the timing couldn't be messier with the Chiefs staring down their do-or-die weekend against the Texans. Kansas City is stressing about saving its season, and Taylor's dealing with Bad Bunny casually moonwalking past her with 19.8 billion streams like it's no big deal. The Wrapped results drop, and suddenly Swifties everywhere are clutching their headphones, while insiders claim Taylor's handling it with that calm, I've survived worse plot twists energy. Sure, she still rules the U.S. charts, queen behavior, but globally, Bunny said move over, bestie. The petty part? He's set to headline the next Super Bowl halftime show, a gig she reportedly turned down so she could support Travis in peace. Irony level? Olympic. Meanwhile, Chiefs fans are praying she shows up at Arrowhead because her attendance record is starting to look like a Lucky Charms spreadsheet. They're 7-3 with her in the stands this season. And insiders keep pointing out how Travis seems to transform into megastar tight end mode whenever she's bundled up in the box seats. Last week's overtime win had her fingerprints all over the vibes. So now everyone wants to know if she's rolling in again despite the Spotify sting. Patterns say yes, but she's been keeping things low-key lately, probably hoping to avoid a camera zooming in every time she adjusts her scarf. And right as everyone's debating whether she'll pop up at Arrowhead, another wild subplot slides in. The guy who trespassed at Travis's house finally gets his punishment. And let me tell you, this whole situation sounds like the plot of a budget courtroom comedy. The man, who apparently thought hopping a fence at 2 a.m. was a reasonable career move, has now been hit with probation and a $1,000 fine. He managed to dodge a criminal conviction thanks to a diversion agreement, which basically means do these tasks, don't be weird again, and we'll pretend this was a quirky little misunderstanding. Honestly, it's giving college kid caught sneaking into the dorm cafeteria energy. The backstory? Oh, it's chaos. According to sources, he claimed he was just doing his job serving legal papers to Taylor Swift on behalf of lawyers tied to some separate Hollywood drama. and instead of, ringing a doorbell like a normal person, he reportedly followed a gate in as it opened and then hopped a fence like he was auditioning for Mission Impossible Suburban Edition. Swift security clocked him immediately, because of course they did, and police showed up before he even got to attempt the world's most ill-advised doorstep delivery. He later doubled down in his diversion application, saying he never meant trouble and was just trying to hand over a subpoena. But insiders say the whole thing still felt like the kind of "I was only doing my job" excuse that makes judges chew their glasses dramatically. At least now the matter's settled, the Chiefs can focus on football, and Travis can sleep knowing no one's scaling fences in the dead of night pretending to be FedEx with a legal twist. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.